Hello, fifth graders. Happy Wednesday. Let's get right into our word work. Today's idiom is get the ball rolling. So here we have literally a ball that's rolling. But if we think about this figuratively, it doesn't mean that a ball is rolling. It means to begin to do something, to get something in motion, to get something started. So this idiom goes with the theme for the week with starting over again, making a fresh start, doing something differently to be successful, turning over a new leaf to start behaving in a better way. So here's a sentence. I'll get the ball rolling with the icing while you mix the batter for our cake. So maybe in the morning, you're waking up and then you have to log on to Clever and you're saying to yourself, oh, I have to get the ball rolling. I have to get started on this. Or maybe you've procrastinated on a project and you say to yourself, well, I have to get the ball rolling because this project is due. So it is this action, it is this thought of starting to do something. So that's the idiom for today. Now we're working on the suffix shun, which means act of or condition of So an action is something done, the accomplishment of a thing, usually over a period of time. Motivation is the act of being motivated, so having reasons or incentives for behaving in a certain way. Today we have expectations. So other words that have the same base are expect, expecting. So expectations makes it a noun. Here's a sample sentence. My parents' expectations of me are very high. So I have to continue working hard. I don't want to let them down. So what does expectations mean? Let me add an S here. The act or condition of expecting something. So when you're expecting something, you're thinking something is likely to happen. It is a belief, because now it's a noun, it is a belief that someone should achieve something. So this is the best definition that matches expectations. Your parents, your teachers have a belief that you should achieve something, that you should improve. Expectations can also mean what people believe will happen in the future. So we have expectations that, let's say with the coronavirus, with the COVID-19 vaccine, it'll help prevent people from getting sick. So that's the expectation if enough people get the vaccine, let's say. And we have an expectation that we should be able to go back to school. So it is something that we believe should happen. It is this belief, okay? So that's the suffix shun. And now let's look at the Latin root example. So we're working on the Latin root spec or spect, which means to see or look. So we've had spectate, to watch or observe, spectator, a person who watches something, and yesterday we learned spectacles, glasses used to see better. So see the pattern here. They all have something to do with seeing or looking or watching, right? So today's word is perspective. Perspective. So you can see the Latin root part right here in the middle of the word. So a perspective is a way of thinking about something, especially one influenced by the type of person you are or your experiences. So there's a couple of definitions for perspective. So for example, let's say based on your experiences, or maybe it's based on culture or religion, you might think about something in a particular way based on that. So let's say I grew up in a home where my parents were pretty strict about school, and so in their perspective, I had to go to college, I had to achieve certain types of grades, and there wasn't going to be any other way. That was just their perspective. They weren't going to be okay with me not going to college, and I went to college, and my sister went to college, and And that is just what was expected, and it was fine for me. That was the path I took, based on their perspective, because that was the experience I grew up with, right? Not everybody has that. It's something that, let's say, I want for all of you to go to college, but maybe some of you won't have that based on whatever the path may be. Maybe some of you end up going to the military, or you end up having going to a type of school where you learn a craft, a skill, and that's great too. So there are just so many different ways that we can think about how we do something based on a perspective, right? So, like, here's a sentence. In my parents' perspective, I have to earn money by doing chores, but my cousin gets money each week without doing any work. So in this family, this person has to do chores to earn money, and in the cousin's family, they can just get money without doing anything. So that's, the parents have a different perspective on how a child should earn money. We can also think about perspective in terms of, like, if you can look at this image here, in terms of art, like sometimes people might paint something or make something from a perspective of being far away. Like you can see, like this person who drew this is far away and is looking at the depth of the road and the buildings and whatnot. If we painted or drew this same picture or image from, let's say, above, like an aerial view, the perspective would be from the sky, like a bird's eye view. And so this area would look differently if we were to draw it from above, right? The perspective is different. So perspective is how we see something. That's what that means. And it's really influenced by the type of person that you are and how you grew up, and everything that all the circumstances that we grew up with. And so, and sometimes it's not that it's right or wrong, it's just the perspective. It's just how you see something based on who you are. Okay? So we have spect again, to look or see. We have shun, the suffix. And we have the idiom today, get the ball rolling. Great job, fifth graders.